As the lights are about to go out here at Australia for the start of the 2015 season, it is lights out and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix. It's a poor start for Lewis Hamilton as we go down towards turn 1. Nico Rosberg's got off to an absolutely fantastic start as the field goes down towards turn 1, and he's only 2 tenths behind Rosberg, so he could easily do it going into turn 1 now. Is he going to have it? He's got the inside line, and Sebastian Vettel leads for the Australian Grand Prix. And it was very close. He had a little look, but Sebastian's gone wide, and Nico Rosberg switched to the inside, and Rosberg takes back the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. We go back to the leaders now, and Sebastian Vettel's tyre has gone just before the first round of pit stops. Rosberg is really slowing down. We're on board with him right now, and he's got a back mark. That's Felipe Nasser. He's hit the wall. He's really slowing down now. He's really got a lot of trouble now. And Sebastian Vettel is right behind him. He's going to make a move down the inside line. And Sebastian Vettel is back in the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. And now Sebastian Vettel comes round the final corner to take a fantastic victory here at Melbourne, Australia, on his debut for Ferrari.
This weekend we're at Kuala Lumpur for the Malaysia Grand Prix, and we're starting off with today's practice session. So sit back, relax and enjoy the action. So after the first race, how do you think this season will compare to previous years?
Well, I hope that we're in for a fantastic season. The Mercedes team have certainly come out of pre-season testing the strongest, which is all well and good, but it's the racing where the pace really counts. It's always difficult to predict, therefore, who's going to come out on top.
The new regulations for this year say goodbye to the somewhat unique nose designs that we saw on the 2014 cars.
The 2014 changes were brought in to promote safety, but I don't think it was anticipated how the teams would exploit the regulations. This year, those regulations have been tightened up to give us a more traditional look to the noses on the 2015 cars.
Hey, what's up? It is Dan or DMAD96 here, and welcome back to Sebastian's return to glory for round 2 of the championship at Sepang for the Malaysia Grand Prix. And Sebastian comes here with a lot of momentum after the Australian Grand Prix, where he managed to collect the win over Daniel Ricciardo in second. And I recommend, if you've missed that episode, go back and watch it, because it was such a brilliant race. A lot went on in that. So Sebastian is feeling confident this weekend. Hopefully he can collect the win. But now, let's go straight into qualifying. Round 2 sees the F1 grid arrive at the Sepang International Circuit at Kuala Lumpur for the Malaysia Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel took the win last time out in Australia, but can he repeat his form this weekend as the drivers went out for qualifying? As expected, the two Manners will line up at the back of the grid, with Roberto Merri once again ahead of Will Stevens. It was another bad qualifying session for McLaren, as despite Jenson Button's 5th place in Australia, they still have a long way to go with their Honda power units as they line up in 16th and 17th. Force India were hoping for a top 10 start, however, it didn't go according to plan, as they could only manage 13th and 15th. One of the biggest position differences between drivers was at Lotus, as Romain Grosjean's qualifying didn't go to plan and was only faster than the two Manners in 18th. However, at the opposite end of the garage, Pastor Maldonado was ecstatic with his performance as he qualified in 7th. Max Verstappen made history in Australia, becoming the youngest driver to finish on the podium, and he continued to impress this weekend, qualifying 10th, with teammate Carlos Sainz down in 14th. Felipe Nasser was the centre of controversy in Australia, however the Brazilian rookie showed his true pace, putting his Sauber 6th on the grid, whilst teammate Marcus Ericsson was just outside the top 10 in 11th place. After his 2nd place in Australia, Daniel Ricciardo felt that he could have done better than 8th, as teammate Daniel Kvyat broke into the top 5, 4 tenths quicker than his teammate. Sebastian Vettel was happy with his 4th place in qualifying, as he looks to make it 2 wins out of 2 in the race. Teammate Kimi Raikkonen felt he could have done much better once again in qualifying, only managing 9th place. Williams left it to the last minute to set their lap times, and many were surprised when both drivers made the top 3, with Valtteri Bottas lining up in 2nd alongside pole sitter Lewis Hamilton. The Brit will be aiming for the win after his DNF in Australia, whilst teammate Nico Rosberg was a major shock as the late lap times from the Williams drivers and others pushed him down to 12th on the grid.
Good afternoon and welcome from Sepang for what is going to be a fascinating race. It's the Malaysia Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton absolutely drove it like he stole it yesterday, storming to pole position. He'll be intent on continuing in that aggressive vein in today's race to secure the victory.
He has clean air in front of him, so we'll be hoping he can create a gap over the first few laps. If the cars in 2nd and 3rd can keep close until the first round of pit stops, then they may be able to take advantage on the undercut.
Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
If there is one thing a driver needs around this track, it's a good feel for the tyres. You aren't going to last in the race if you don't manage them properly. Some drivers take the life out of them too quickly, so they're going to have to keep an eye on that. It might make all the difference.
And Sebastian is on the grid ready for round 2 of the championship. As he is going to check his strategy now. He's doing a 2-stop strategy, finishing on the prime tyre, starting on the options. Should be a good race today. As the 5 lights now are about to go out, he's alongside Felipe Massa. He's got Bottas and Hamilton in the front row. Who will lead down to turn 1? And round 2 is underway here at Sepang. It's a good start for Lewis Hamilton, much better than Australia, but a brilliant start for both Williams drivers who are already alongside the world champion. Bottas has already taken lead of the Grand Prix. We've got Maldonado and Danny Kvyat alongside as we go down to turn 1. And Massa takes lead of the Grand Prix. We're still alongside Kvyat. Maldonado is trying to make a move at the inside, but it was a little bit of a squeeze. And he's got off the track. A spin from Maldonado, but Sebastian has managed to advance a few positions. He's taken third of Lewis Hamilton, who's had an awful start. He's lost 3 positions from starting P1. Another poor start for Lewis Hamilton. He's down in 4th position now, but Felipe Massa leads the Malaysia Grand Prix. What a start for the Williams pairing. As they're 1 and 2 at the minute, so we're going to go on board with Pastor Maldonado just to actually see what happened. I think he tried to make a move. I think we just simply didn't see him and ended up squeezing him off, and he's held a bit of a traffic jam. And Nico Rosberg was actually caught up in that, and he started down in 12th. And it's not the best of starts that he wanted, but I think he might have gained a couple of positions. But the trouble is, there, as you see, on board with Nico Rosberg now. There's Maldonado. He got held up by Maldonado. But there is a massive gap now between him and the Red Bull driver just ahead. As we go back on board with Sebastian now, who is just about to complete the first lap of the Grand Prix. But the 2 Williams drivers have been on fire. Felipe Massa setting the fast lap of the race, obviously because he's in first. But both Williams drivers have been absolutely fantastic in this first lap. As you can see, they've already got a gap to Sebastian. It's probably, I think Sebastian could try and make up that time in the coming laps, but I've got to say, fantastic for both Williams drivers who now leave the Grand Prix, and they could win this race. We never know as we go on to lap 3 of the Grand Prix now. There is Felipe Massa still leading Valtteri Bottas. We're just about to start lap 4. A slight bit of oversteer there for Sebastian, but he still has a big gap ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and someone's gone to the pits. That might be Hamilton, we really don't know. But we're going on board with Valtteri Bottas, and the 2 battling Williams drivers now going into turn 1, and Valtteri Bottas looks like he's made the move stick, and Valtteri Bottas moves into first place of the Malaysia Grand Prix. Felipe Massa now down in second, and we are in third, just behind the 2 Williams drivers, and going a slight bit quicker. We just had the fastest lap of the race. And there is Felipe Massa as we move on to further into the same lap now, and we're right behind Massa, and we're desperately trying to make a move here. Felipe Massa has lost time to Bottas, who seems to be pulling away a little bit of a gap as we go into the tight left-hander now. And again, we had another look at Massa, but again, not making the move stick as we move on to lap 4 again, going down the back straight. We will have DRS this time, so we will have a brilliant chance of trying to get past Massa as we go into the final corner of the Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas has pulled off a slight gap, so we need to pass Massa as soon as possible now as we go into the final corner. And we've managed to make the move stick on the final corner, but Massa will have the DRS going down for start-finish straight now. And it is a very long straight, of course, very long run towards turn 1. We both have DRS. We have DRS on Bottas as Massa has the DRS on us. As we go down to turn 1, Massa is going to try and make the move stick, and it looks like he has, but we're going to try and hold off around the outside, and meanwhile Nico Rosberg is closing on in this battle for second. Are we going to hold on? No! Massa has kept second place. Brilliant battling there between Ferrari and Williams. We move on further into the lap now, and Massa's had a poor line into that left-hander, and we've had a fantastic line. We're all over the back of him, and we just simply can't pass him. He's really holding on. Massa doing an incredible job in second place. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas is pulling away. Nico Rosberg is closing on this battle, so it's a very exciting battle here between Williams and the Ferrari driver. And again, Massa going very slowly into that corner, but I think the Ferrari has better cornering speed than the Williams. The Williams seems to be better on the straights. As we go onto the back straight now, we have a little look going at the inside of the penultimate corner, and somehow Massa managed to hold on second place again. The Brazilian doing a fantastic job going down the back straight. We have DRS, and we try and move into the final corner. It looks like we're going to make this move stick. Massa tries to get back up the inside as we went slightly wide. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas has pulled up a gap to, I think, 3 seconds now, so it's going to be tough to catch up to him. But we still have Massa right in the way here, and making our chance of catching up to Bottas very difficult here. But it looks like we managed to actually make the position stick, and now we can try and set the charge towards Valtteri Bottas, as we have now taken second place. But I don't think Massa will drop back here. He is in a very fast Williams, and he's been very quick this race. As we move on to lap 7 now, he's still right behind us, and that is Nico Rosberg also behind us as well. So now we've got a battle between Massa, Rosberg and ourselves. We go down towards turn 1 again. Massa using the DRS. Rosberg has the DRS as well. And looks like we're going to lose 2 positions. But no, we break a little bit later. We go a little bit right. We managed to hold the position. Now Massa trying to get cut back on the inside line. And we have stayed in second place somehow. Massa has also held on to Nico Rosberg. And whilst all this is happening, Valtteri Bottas is gone. He's gone. He's just miles ahead. But pit stops will be coming very soon. I believe Bottas is pitting at the end of this lap. We're pitting on this lap, I believe, on lap 9. Bottas has already pitted, as you can probably tell, as we're going off into the pits now, and so is Massa, and so is Rosberg. So it's going to be a three-row battle going to the pits. Who will emerge out ahead as we go into the pit lane now? Massa is still ahead of Rosberg. I think Valtteri Bottas is no question really. He's probably going to easily get past us as we're in the pits. As we come into the pit box now, Massa's in, Rosberg, and we're in as well. We're going to fit another set of the option tyres on, and we have emerged out ahead, and Rosberg has got past Felipe Massa, and as you just saw there on the cinematic, you would have seen Valtteri Bottas go past the pit straight and is now into second position. I believe Dani Kvyat leads the Grand Prix, and that's Lewis Hamilton, interestingly, in third position, and we're not too sure if he stops yet. But we're going to have a look at the race director screen right now, and Lewis Hamilton has in fact stopped, but it must have been quite early on in the Grand Prix, so his tyres must be nearly off the cliff already by now. And Dani Kvyat leads the Grand Prix, but he's obviously yet to pit. So Valtteri Bottas is actually in the lead of this race now. So we move on to lap 11 of the Grand Prix. We still have Nico Rosberg behind us, and Felipe Massa. Well, it looks like he's dropped off a little bit, but we're going to try and hold off around the outside. But Nico Rosberg, he had the inside line. He was easily going to make that move stick. As we go onto the helicopter camera now, this is a brilliant camera, I've got to say. As we go down at the start finish straight, Rosberg still leads, but we need to brake quite late here if we want a chance passing him. And that was a slight dive bomb manoeuvre and a slight bit of contact there. Very aggressive move from Sebastian, but nevertheless he takes third place in the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton, though, I think, as you can see in the minimap, there is a car just ahead, and I think that might be Lewis Hamilton, who seems to be slowing dramatically here. His tyres must be going off, but Nico Rosberg has passed us again, taking third position for the Grand Prix. That is a car going off in the pits. I think that's Lewis Hamilton. Rosberg trying to hold off around the outside. Amazing stuff there from Mercedes. And yes, it was Lewis Hamilton going into the pits. We're back into third position still, but we're going to try and take second now. Rosberg seems like he has this position in the bag now. Massa has caught up as well on lap 15, and he has overtaken us, and we can't overtake Rosberg, and it looks like Rosberg's just going to pull away now, since the Mercedes is much faster than the Williams and the Ferrari. But we have passed Felipe Massa, and we have taken third position off the Grand Prix. Let's move on to the end of lap 15, start of lap 16, and Massa trying again. So Massa is not giving up. We're having a fantastic battle. Felipe Massa, Nico Rosberg's gone, and we're going to try the inside of Massa, slightly wide, little bit of contact with the side of a Williams driver as we go down towards turn 2, and are we going to take position off Massa? No, he has the inside line, and Massa keeps the position. Felipe Massa hold on in that Williams. He's doing a fantastic job. And moving further on to the lap now, we're in rich fuel mix now to try and catch up to the Williams, but it's just not working at all. But we're going to try into the right hand now, slightly cutting that corner. Then we hold on to third. We take third position off Felipe Massa. And on to lap 16 again as we go down to the back straight, putting it back into Rich to try and defend from Felipe Massa, who's going to be all over us. He will have a DRS, and he easily takes that position once again. The Williams driver not giving up. We're going to try and have a look around the inside as well, but no, are we going to do it side by side? Massa had the better lineup on the outside there. We will have the DRS running down towards turn 1. I don't think it's going to be enough for us. Move on to lap 17 now, and Massa is going off into the pits, and we're going to follow him in. We decided just to follow the Williams driver into the pits. Slight bit of contact with the back of him. Can we make the jump in the pit stops? So we have a look now. Massa in third. I believe Valtteri Bottas is still leading the Grand Prix, and I think he's in a battle with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, who have managed to gain quite a lot of time, really. I've got to say, after Rosberg getting held up at the start, Lewis Hamilton, I believe, pitted quite early on the Grand Prix. There's Lewis Hamilton actually going past the pit straight right now. He moves up into fourth position, and he is going to be miles ahead. But the important thing is we are ahead of Felipe Massa. Daniil Kvyat also passes us as well, but he's yet to pit as we now exit the pits in sixth position. but it should be 4th quite soon, I do believe. Now we've moved up to 5th. Kvyat goes into a pit, so it will be 4th as we start lap 20 of the Grand Prix. And the interesting thing is that we have pulled away from Felipe Massa, so it looks like now that Massa's probably just given up on this battle. As we go on to the cinematic shot now, a battle for first position with Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas leads the Malaysia Grand Prix, but Lewis Hamilton is all over the back of him in the Mercedes now. So we go down towards turn 1, he switched to the inside line, and Hamilton takes the lead of the Malaysia Grand Prix, and he only has a few more laps to hold on, and that Mercedes we know is a lot quicker than that Williams, so Valtteri Bottas is going to be in a lot of trouble. But we're skipping on to lap 25 now. Now I'm so sorry, but the action sort of died down after a little bit, and that's Will Stevens. What is he doing? I don't know what he was doing, but he nearly took us out of the Grand Prix. And as we go on board now with the Manor driver, as well, it just didn't really go. I think he just lost traction out of that corner, and he just pulls over to retire from the Grand Prix. As you see there, he is a ghost on our screen. But now moving on to the penultimate lap of the race now, Massa has been closing the gap again. He's just not giving up. He's decided now he's going to put his foot down and try and catch up with Sebastian on this on these final few laps now. As we move on now to the battle for the lead as they start their final lap of the Grand Prix. As you see, Lewis Hamilton leads and Rosberg's caught up to this battle as well. So it's a three-way battle for the lead. And Bottas has the DRS and Hamilton. His tyres, I think, have seemed to go off because he literally has no straight line speed compared to that Williams. And Valtteri Bottas moves into the lead on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff there for the Finn, who takes the position of Lewis Hamilton. And meanwhile, we go on to lap 28, the final lap of the race, and Massa has closed in onto Vettel here as we go into the left-hander. I don't know if you can hear that, but Sebastian is running out of fuel. He seems to have not managed his fuel correctly, and now it's really cost him. He's going to put it into lead. I don't think it's going to be enough because Massa is probably still going to overtake him. We've also got the threat of Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull, who is also closing on this battle for 4th position. And there's literally nothing that we can do now. Meanwhile, going into the final corner of the Grand Prix, and Nico Rosberg passes Lewis Hamilton, takes 2nd position off his teammates. But Valtteri Bottas is the man we're looking at now, who takes the victory here at Malaysia. A fantastic drive from the Williams driver. He started 2nd. He's taken the lead. He led the race for absolutely ages. And a fantastic drive for Williams, who's probably going to be closing up to us in the championship now. But Massa overtakes in the final few corners of the Grand Prix to go into the penultimate corner. We're going to try and see if we can hold on the position. We do overtake him, slightly cut him out of corner, so very naughtily move there from Sebastian. But it's not going to be enough because he doesn't have any straight line speed in comparison to the Williams or the Red Bull. And they go straight past the 4-time champion as Daniel Ricciardo now trying to go at the inside of Massa in the final corner of the Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo takes 4th. Fantastic move there from the Australian in the Red Bull as Sebastian crosses the line, feeling very disappointed with his 6th place finish. So Sebastian is obviously very disappointed with that result, and he knew he could have got 4th, but real shame for him there. He's got to hope for better things as we move on to China for round 3 of the championship. But there is the result confirmed. Valtteri Bottas wins the Malaysia Grand Prix, with Rosberg and Hamilton following behind, Ricciardo taking 4th, with Massa, then Vettel, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Kvyat and Carlos Sainz collecting his 1st point of the season. As we move on to the Drivers' Championship now, not really much has happened after the first 2 rounds, but Daniel Ricciardo is still in 2nd, Vettel still leading, and Bottas has moved up to 3rd because of his win. Rosberg's now up to 4th, Verstappen stays in 5th, still ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Quite surprising there as we move on to the Constructors' Championship, and Ferrari still lead, Mercedes move up to 4th with their double podium finish. It should be interesting as we go to the next round at Shanghai, but now I think it's time to move on to the podium. So here are the 3 drivers, Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg and Valtteri Bottas, arriving on the podium for the Malaysia Grand Prix. It was a brilliant result for them, but I'd like to thank you guys all for watching this episode. If you have, please leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Until next time guys, this has been Demas96, and I'll see you guys in the Chinese Grand Prix.